Anyway, I'm trying to be bright and cheery despite the weather. And when you think about everything that goes into a successful performance on the racecourse, yes, of course, you need a good trainer and you need a good jockey, you need the horse to be fit, you need a good veterinary team and a farrier and a team at home who are going to ride them work and muck them out and keep them happy. But also when you get here to the racecourse, you really need to know that if they're tricky, if at all they're thinking about things, that there's someone down at the start who can help them. And Mick Fitzgerald has been spending time with one of the very best.
I don't class myself as a horse whisperer. People like to call me the horse whisperer, but I like to class myself as a horseman.
What inspired you to get into horses?
What happened in my life, young life, I was abused, and I went to a point where I wanted to go with horses and animals and stay away from people. And I got disrupted at school because I was fighting the world. I had problems with everything, the family. Everyone thought I was a bad un. But when I was with horses, I was happy. They just clicked, you know, that I could call a horse over where they couldn't catch a horse.
Is it a gift, almost?
I think so. I think now, at one time, again, I was embarrassed about what I do, you know, and what I did. But now, my son's doing it with me now, and he's coming on so well.
Always, in my life as a jockey, it was almost like brute force all the time. I always forced the issue. But for you, you don't believe in that way?
No, I don't. Everything I do when it comes to a horse is pressure release. In basically, if you give me something, if you as an animal gives me something, I'll give you something back. I'll give you no pressure. Now, horses are flight animals, and they're flight or fight. So you've got two issues there. You've got a flight where the horse will run, will make a racehorse run, or jump, or whatever, and we train it to do what it's doing. And then you get an angry horse, which is like angry people, you know, where they want to take the world on and they want to take everyone on. But that's normally forced through human dealing, from when it's a foal, when the animal hasn't had chance to learn or be taught properly. I've got his spot there.
So it's not a case of breaking them, it's actually making them realise there is a better way.
Exactly. I like to call it starting instead of, I think the word itself, breaking, and it's been through the generations, we're breaking that horse. Are you breaking its soul? Are you breaking its will? Or are you breaking its spirit? Is there such a thing as a spirit on a horse?
Your CV is littered with top-class horses. Can you tell us a few of the good ones you've worked with?
I started to see the stars that year alone. You know, we had Ganati won the Guineas. See the Stars won the Guineas, the Derby. I had Fleeting Spirit, you know, won that year. Equiano won that year. We had a fantastic year. We had something like 22 Group 1 winners and Classic winners in 1 year.
And See the Stars wins a 4th Guineas for Mick Cannan.
And what does Gary Witheford see for the future?
I'm 54 years age now, you know, and I've been doing this a lot of time. I mean, the old body's getting, there's not many people doing what I do, getting into stalls and being pulled and pushed around, but I'd love to teach people. I just want to get out there and teach people. And at the end of the day, I let my horses do the talking.
So interesting, that stuff. Some great shots there as well, Mick. I had no idea that he'd helped out with See the Stars.
Yeah, and as well, you know, for him, an Englishman, to be called over to Ireland, the land of the horse almost, you know, I think he thought that was a particular feather in his own cap. But it was just an amazing experience, and one that I felt privileged to be part of, because I saw a different side of it and another way, actually, of engaging with horses and making them understand your way.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time last year with Monty Roberts, and a similar kind of thing, you know, making a horse want to do what you want it to do, not forcing it to.
Yeah, I used to always force, just force as a jockey, but you realise there is actually another and better way.
Yeah. The going has changed, by the way, with all this rain. It is now official.